Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Magic in the Midwest podcast number 20.
Is it 20?
20. Yes, it is.
Feels a lot longer than that.
It does. Oh, my gosh. Somebody shoot me. Okay. So Magic in the Midwest podcast number 20. I am J.B. Michaels, USA Today best-selling author of many awesome books that you should check out. Got books for everybody. All the way, of all ages, really. Mm-hmm. Check them out, guys. MISTER Michaels.com, MrMichaels.com for a free book. Just sign up for the, the email list and get a free book. Latest book that just came out is The Horde, Chronicles of the Order, Book 6. So there's a ton of content for you to read in the mind from the library of J.B. Michaels. I am accompanied by my more successful wife,
Ashley Michaels.
Ashley Michaels.
Why did you hesitate before you said wife? Like, are we...
Well, we thought we were getting the D papers out.
Status change.
Considering what you just said.
I think we go back to like boyfriend and girlfriend.
Before recording, she's just the meanest person, guys.
I think.
Just letting you know. Don't let her fool you.
I don't feel like I saw
Don't let her fool you.
I think we should go back to dating.
No, we're not.
We could live separately.
No.
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
No, stop it.
I think we were good then.
Oh my gosh. You're the worst.
We could go back to being engaged.
Can we please not talk about this? She's in quite a strange mood, guys. Quite a strange mood.
It's my boyfriend, J.B. Michaels.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm
you
your
are
husband.
Technically still my boyfriend.
Well,
too.
yes, but I'm sacred.
My man friend.
Sacramental status here. Man and what, husband and wife.
I was drugged during the wedding.
Well, you probably were, given your, situation.
Whoa.
All right.
What's my situation?
We don't want to go into that. All right. So, ladies.
That's misleading.
yeah, right. It's not. Trust me. It's not misleading. Okay, so today we're heading back to the World Showcase. You should give up. Just give it up. No, back to the World Showcase for this episode. So we're going to do Japan and Morocco. So it's going to be quite the exotic, cool episode of Magic in the Midwest podcast.
Two great pavilions.
Two really great pavilions, none of which that have a ride or, major attraction like a ride or a show. They've got other types of shows, but we're going to go into right now the Japan pavilion, which is oddly enough positioned right next to the American Adventure, and I think that was done purposely to sort of say and kind of acknowledge the peace that is now between the United States and Japan. Yes, so it's like American Adventure and then Japan. So
purposeful placement.
I think it's really actually pretty cool that they did that.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've got the, Magic in the Midwest podcast. And I really think that Japan is a sleeper hit, sleeper favorite for a lot of people. I really think that people love the Japan Pavilion. A lot of people. Even though you don't, people mostly, a lot of people like it. No, it's just that I know a few people of our friends and family who absolutely adore this pavilion and will always tell you that it's their favorite.
Yeah.
And I will say that the Japan pavilion does, create a sense of peace. I think there's a sort of peacefulness to it in regards to the way that it's set up and just the way it looks, and just the how large it is. I mean, it's pretty big. The structures are big in that pavilion.
Well, and I think that going back to what you said about it being a sleeper favorite is that I think when someone will ask me what my favorite pavilion is, Japan doesn't really come to mind. And I think because it's more peaceful. It's not in your face with an attraction and you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, it's just a little bit more, but I always really enjoy the Japan Pavilion.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're shaking the table again.
Right.
Do it, I'm going to throw the chair.
So basically the Japanese Pavilion, okay, is probably one of the more picturesque, okay? If you actually out in the lagoon is a red torii gate, which actually perfectly frames Spaceship Earth.
Great place to take a pic.
Yeah, a lot of great pictures are taken there. So I would definitely, stop by the red torii gate, which is actually not even inside the pavilion proper, but in front of it.
I think my favorite thing about the Japan Pavilion is like the blue roofs.
Yeah. The blue roofs. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the blue roofs. So
yeah, but they're cool.
Well, to sort of differentiate too from China, which is a lot of red and gold. Japan is more brown and blue.
Yeah.
But
a blue roof, I mean, you don't see that a lot.
No.
It's just it's cool. It's
yeah,
neat.
there's a huge pagoda, which is what Ashley's referring to, this blue roof pagoda, which is based off a temple. Okay, and actually this section of this is the more tranquil, peaceful garden setting where people can just, if you want to take a load off and just relax. Take a load off.
Oh my god.
Take a load off your feet, you idiot. Gosh.
I didn't think you meant anything else.
are ridiculous today.
Not a good time of recording.
No, it is not a good time for recording.
I think
Ashley
it's
is
you.
nuts.
No.
Someone's
crabbier than the other person. Definitely. You guys heard it. See?
All right, so keep talking.
No. What are you doing? Guys, I don't really know where JB's going, and this isn't really my part of the podcast, so I'm just gonna talk about myself for a while. What are you doing? You have to have your coffee?
Just grabbing some more coffee.
Well, I'm just gonna wait for you. I'm not gonna say anything.
The fans are waiting for you to help them.
No, I'm not gonna help them with this. This is your area. You should have thought about this. This is really unprofessional. But I'm not gonna encourage it by filling the gaps for you. Do your job.
See what I mean? Not a partner. Not a partner
You
today.
just got coffee all over the tablecloth.
Okay, so basically that's a cool area to just relax. Okay, or as Ashley cannot handle the phrase "take a load off," but it's pretty common. So you can take a load off, relax. There's a koi pond, tranquil garden. There's bamboo, Japanese maple trees. It's really, really pretty by the tall pagoda temple. And then, what's cool about the Japanese pavilion as well is that it's open. Like, it's really, it's not like you're inundated with like a village setting or like small, quaint little, passageways like, say, Germany or, like Norway, where things are sort of packed in a little tighter. Not Japan. Japan's more of an open pavilion with the big plaza in the middle. And then, of course, if you go further back, there's the White Heron Castle, okay, which looks like is a fortress, which is all the way in the back, which is really, really cool. And I just realized that I've been to Epcot how many times? And I've been actually to Japan. But I've literally only really stayed in the Japanese garden setting, right by the pagoda on, if you're looking at it on the left side, if you're coming from it. And I went into the main shop, and that's like the biggest thing, Mitsukoshi. That's like, the main attraction really of the Japan pavilion because it's really, really cool. Yeah, so, all right, so there we go. Then, of course, that's kind of like the way it looks. Then, of course, if you notice, in the Japan Pavilion, there's a lot of shrubbery that's very shaped.
Yeah.
It's very, perfectly coiffed, I guess I should say, right? They're very purposely done. It's not just like, wild growing It's very taken care of. It's beautiful. And again, like, there is a lot of blue roofs, blue and green settings here. All right. So we actually did go inside Mitsukoshi to find a pin or a magnet. Yeah, magnet. Did we ever find, which one do we get from Japan?
I don't remember. Harrison has broken almost all
Yeah,
of them.
He's pretty much destroyed all of them. I can't
It's not up there. I don't think there's any up there.
Oh, yeah, well, we're going to have to go back and get more magnets.
Well, I don't want magnets. I want to do something else.
Well, I do. So
you can do magnets by yourself.
Magnets.
I'm going to go look for a new boyfriend.
Right. That's fine.
No. I tried to say, too, before you move on, that what, for me, I mean, I know JB always goes through and talks about all the, like, actual stuff, and I focus more on the feelings I get when I go into a certain pavilion. But I think the cool thing about Japan is that it's pretty extensive. It's a big pavilion, but it still feels, kind of peaceful and relaxing, which is, obviously why JB was talking about how you could take a load off there. But not every pavilion can manage to do that. Like, it feels sort of quaint and quiet and relaxing, but also it's extensive. So it's kind of amazing, how they're able to accomplish that feeling. And I don't know if it's just about the architecture or the colors or a combination of things, but yeah, I think it's the greens and blues or something.
Right,
just more relaxing. But it's one of my favorite pavilions just to look at, like an experience, just because I like how it looks aesthetically, which, I mean, is, to each their own. Everyone has different preferences, but it's a really neat looking pavilion.
Yeah, no, it is. And it, like I said, the structures, the buildings themselves are big, yet it still has like a sense of space, open space. And the biggest, probably the most, basically it's a replica of Japan's Imperial Palace, is basically where Mitsukoshi is. It's like a big, huge department store, which Mitsukoshi is actually the oldest department store in the world. It goes back like, I think, 3 centuries, even more, I think, at this point. So basically, this really is the main attraction of the Japan Pavilion. It's obviously nestled inside the coronation and ceremonial halls of Japan's Imperial Palace, but it's basically just the big department store. It's like a mall almost.
Yeah.
And of course, you get to go in there, and there is a growing population of fans of Japanese anime, especially our like nieces and nephews are really into anime right now. It's just like, it's, there's where you can get, there's the bomb again. That's where you can get, Pokemon stuff, My Hero Academia stuff, Hello Kitty, Kingdom Hearts action figures, model cars. I mean, there's lots of really cool things that you can get, that are Japanese, and then of course, there's more traditional Japanese types of retail items in there as well, like, books on Japanese gardening and architecture and martial arts, origami, so lots of cool different things you could get that kind of immerse yourself in Japanese culture and Japanese imports. It's well done. It's well done. It just seems like the store goes on for forever, and you can spend a lot of time in Mitsukoshi.
Yep.
Really, like you really can, and it's I think it's just really neat because if there's Nintendo items in there as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, lots of really neat things. And a lot of the things we love, and especially me, I'm a huge like PlayStation fan. Obviously, a lot of what I love is Japanese as well. So yeah, pretty neat. And then of course, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the dining, which there are a few different dining establishments even inside Mitsukoshi. But the newest one, the biggest one, is called Takumi Te.
Is this the signature?
Yeah, this is a
expensive?
new signature restaurant, which I think you're probably going to wind up dropping close to 100 a plate.
Like, how new are we talking?
It just opened like last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's new. It's supposed to be amazing. Yeah, one day, if you're nice, not a big brat.
So probably not.
Like you've been acting like today.
I have not.
I'm not
guys.
gonna fill in while you get your
Well, it was irresponsible.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not. I mean,
I back you up. I back you up.
When? You
all
don't
the
need
time.
to.
All the time.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Right.
I'm prepared with my feelings.
I don't know about that. No, but it's to basically, there is Hamada type restaurants as well where they do the teppanyaki is another one where they just prepare everything in front of you on the grill, which for some reason, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot do those types of restaurants.
Oh, really?
No. I could probably do Takumi Te because it's just a sit-down restaurant.
Why can't you do the other one? You mean like just...
Whatever they use.
Oh, just bothers your
I
stomach.
literally cannot handle. It's the lard that they use to that they grease the grills with.
Gotcha.
Makes me ill immediately.
So you feel like at a sit-down restaurant, they probably don't use that because they're not cooking in front of you and they're doing
it's probably a different way to do it. But holy cow.
So like Jurin, stuff like you can't go to those places.
No. Every time I've gone,
you have a problem.
Bad things have happened. Yeah.
Well, we will not do that.
Bad things. Yeah, something about it just totally kills me. Yeah. Yikes bikes. Okay, and then of course, so there's teppanyaki, and that's the one I'm talking about where they, will have the grill in front of you and they'll, make everything right there.
It's kind of like dinner and a show.
Sort of, yes. And then, of course, there is Tokyo Dining, which is, not that way. It's just a regular restaurant. You're supposed to bow. So you have to return a bow. If someone bows to you, you should bow back.
Okay.
Yes. Then there's a quick service as well, Katsura Grill. How do you feel about sushi though?
Oh, that's a lot of.
There's 4 restaurants.
To be honest, I like the Americanized sushi, like a California roll type sushi.
What is
but
that?
Actual,
tell me what that is.
Raw fish, just that you eat with chopsticks, isn't really my deal.
So what is a California roll?
That's just there's rice, and then there's sometimes spicy tuna in the middle with some vegetables, but it's those rolls that you see.
What are they? What makes up the roll?
Well, the rice is the white part around the outside. Usually it's the sticky rice.
Okay.
And then there's usually a really thin layer of seaweed, even though that sounds gross, it actually tastes really good.
Okay.
It's sort of wet, and that's what divides the rice from whatever's inside. So then there's a spicy tuna, and then maybe carrots or cucumber or whatever else you want to put in there. But you can get...
Where's the fish?
Well, tuna is fish. So.
Oh, that's what it is.
But
I thought sushi was...
I think that's what I'm saying. Americanized sushi, a lot of people will say they like sushi, but they're eating a California roll.
Okay.
But actual sushi I have had, which is just, a certain kind of raw fish. And it's not my favorite. I don't... I ate it and I was fine, but it was sort of I was stomaching it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't enjoy
it wasn't really my favorite thing.
Okay. Okay.
But, yeah. When I think about grabbing sushi, I'm grabbing a California roll from Trader Joe's.
Okay.
A spicy tuna roll.
Gotcha.
But everyone has sort of different definitions of what that is,
Okay.
But actual sushi is not my favorite.
Gotcha. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm just not a guy who eats fish that much. I'll eat fried fish. If you give me some fried fish and chips, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
It's not it's weird. It's not like I loathe fish or will spit it out if I eat it. It's just I don't prefer it. It's just not something I prefer to eat. Mm-hmm. It's just
Yeah.
one of those.
No, I'd rather have chicken or steak.
Yeah.
Personally.
Well, what's good about the Japan Pavilion is you can get steak, right? You could get, different forms of steak, and it doesn't always have to be just raw fish or whatever. So that's good to know, So it's not always. I mean, there's also chicken and beef and seafood. I mean, there's different things you could get.
I should say too, like those roll-ups I was talking about, you can have like actual sushi in the middle of that instead of tuna. But I think, generally speaking, people are eating what is not really sushi. You know what I mean?
Right. Not in the traditional Japanese sense of sushi. Yeah, I know one of our favorite what?
Is that correct?
Yeah, one of our favorite one of our friends, the Japanese Pavilions, their favorite, and their restaurant is their favorite as well. So they like to go to Japan a lot every time they go. And of course there's, sake. So there's a sake testing bar that you can, taste different sake, which I think is cool.
Is that alcohol?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've had that once.
Yes, it is alcohol. And then, of course, there's green tea and some beer that you could try there. So really, like, it's interesting. You get a combination of ancient Japan and, and if you walk further in, like all the way to the castle area, the stone, there's a cool statue of a samurai on horseback to your right. Which is really neat, which I think is just awesome. And basically, I don't know, Japan, the country itself, and of course this Japan, the pavilion, it just has a really, strong culture.
Yeah.
But it also you feel peaceful. You feel, it just feels nice, being, there. It's just a really cool, yeah, and it's just a really cool place.
Have you ever eaten in one of the restaurants in Japan? No, okay.
No, I've never. So that's something.
But I'm sure they have like steak and stuff like that.
They do. We've just never done it. I don't know why. So we
okay.
we have to
curious.
go. We have to do that. But yeah, so I mean, I really, I want to spend more time in Japan. I mean, you can get. I mean, again, like I said, you get lost in Mitsukoshi and just like be in that shopping mall basically for forever, just looking at all the stuff.
Totally.
I mean, there is just gobs of stuff, like tons of stuff in there. All right, Ash. So, what would you rate the Japan Pavilion?
I would give it a 9.
9.
I just like the feel. I like the architecture. I like the colors. And the shopping is pretty extensive, along with, obviously the many dining options it offers. And I just, the feeling, even though it doesn't really have any shows, like bigger show attraction type things. Right. I don't know.
I mean, there's drummers that come out.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just enjoy it a lot. So it's a high rating from me.
Yes. I agree. I think I'm gonna go 9 with you as well.
Okay.
I do really enjoy being in it, and I enjoy shopping in it, and I do want to try, Takumi Te or Takumi Tai or whatever. I think it's Takumi Te. And then, I do really, just enjoy the whole culture. And there's this game I'm playing right now that's set in Japan. And it's beautiful. Just like, the game itself is just gorgeous. And so is the pavilion. So, really, really neat. All right. So now we're going to head on over to Morocco. So Morocco is very different in the way that it's set up. So Morocco is not this open pavilion. It is definitely just it's supposed to be tighter, walkways, smaller, quaint shops, beautiful tile work, mosaics, the sort of desert shaped buildings, desert building, not shaped building, but desert buildings. It's really cool. Obviously, a lot of Muslim architecture, right? Middle Eastern architecture. And this is the only pavilion that was actually paid for by the country that it is based on.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the king of Morocco was like, hey, we want to pay for this. And Disney was like, that's great. Because they were like, we want to make sure it looks right. And it's just, yeah. So it really is incredibly well done. So I would definitely recommend going to Morocco. And then of course there's a reproduction of the Koutoubia minaret of Marrakesh, which is a prayer tower, okay, of a 12th century mosque. And then of course there's terracotta tiles, plaster buildings. There's like citrus and olive trees and palms and banana plants. There's a fountain. There's musicians around, belly dancers, which I think is really cool. So I mean, it's a really, really Morocco sort of has a lively atmosphere to it, which is different from Japan. Japan is more like serenity and peace, and then Morocco is a little more lively and upbeat, as far as like live entertainment and it's pretty cool. And there's like a art exhibit there, and so it's pretty neat. I've actually eaten at the restaurant Marrakesh a few times.
That's the one that's outside?
No, this is one that's inside.
Okay.
And what's cool about it is that it's good food. Lamb, chicken. There's kebabs you could get. The food's good, and you get entertainment as well. So like there's going to be a belly dancer that comes out, while you're eating, and it's cool.
What is what did you think of the inside in terms of like decor of the restaurant? Is it
beautiful chandeliers, beautiful like floors? Now you got like the way that because it's a mostly Muslim type of Muslim pavilion, really Middle Eastern pavilion. There's not a lot on the walls,
right?
Like the walls are pretty barren, but the architecture and the styling. There's like pillars, and the ceiling's beautiful. The chandeliers are beautiful. It's still really neat in there.
Yeah.
The archways and everything. It has a lot of Middle Eastern architecture, obviously, but you have to realize that decor is not. There's no big tapestries or like paintings or anything like that. But it's really neat.
What's interesting about Morocco is that I kind of feel like it's an underdog in a way. I think because it's a Middle Eastern country pavilion, it feels a little further away,
right?
And less familiar to a lot of people in a way.
Yeah.
But I'm always sort of drawn to it. I like when we're walking through it, and I always want to sit and eat at that restaurant outside that's like right on like over the lake.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool, and I also think that Morocco is particularly pretty at night.
Just it is.
The way it's
lit
lit
gorgeous.
Up.
Yeah.
Like JB was saying that there are some things about it that almost come off as more plain.
But once you get in there. It's
like
not.
At first, at a first glance, but when you're really paying attention to the detail and the tile work and stuff, it's really, really cool. And I think at night that really comes alive.
Yes.
I think it's a very, very pretty pavilion.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It's definitely worth stopping and taking a look and, maybe booking a dining reservation too, because I think a lot of people walk through it because it's not familiar.
Right.
To a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the tile work, the mosaic work is just beautiful too. Like there's this one area that's just like kind of secluded. There's a fountain there, It's got this beautiful blue and white tiles mosaic.
I know what you're talking about. And then there's like the flower beds and the trees around it. It's really nice.
It's gorgeous, you guys. It's gorgeous. You know, it is really cool. A lot of, obviously, the style's very geometric patterns, right? Everything's very square, diamonds, whatever. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome. You know, and then of course, like the restaurant Marrakesh, you can usually get in there. Like it's usually not filled.
Okay.
Or it's usually like there's usually reservations available like early. You know, early. So which I think is great. You know, so early in the day you could probably get a reservation, but they have opened up a new place on the water, so called the Spice Road Table.
Is that the one I'm talking about?
That's what you're talking about outside. Yeah. I was talking about the one inside in the pavilion.
I didn't know how new the one outside was.
That is newer.
Okay.
Yeah. So Spice Road Table is located right on the water. And what's cool is it's beautiful in there as well, and it's newer. But you could, there's live entertainment. Okay, like there's usually a lot of live entertainment in Morocco. There's always like some cool like concert thing going on, you know, like in the street or whatever. So I would definitely check it out. Spice Road Table on the outside is good.
Yeah, you guys, I feel like whenever we walk past it, it doesn't seem like there's many people in there. And I wonder, it has to be more filled up during the nighttime. Because, it's a perfect spot to watch the nighttime show. Or even just in the evening when it has cooled off to have a meal there and watch the people walking by. And then also have a view across the lake, too, or whatever.
Yes.
But it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of people in there, and I wonder if it's because, like, the thought of maybe Moroccan food or something.
Yeah, maybe it's too exotic.
But I think a lot, most of the time Disney offers some sort of more plain option.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Believe me, the food is not.
Don't let that scare you.
The food is not spicy.
But I think that's what a lot of people maybe think.
Right.
Like, I have a picky eater. There's no way we could eat at Morocco. When really you maybe could, like, you could order something plain.
Oh, no.
Whatever.
Yeah, no. The food is really...
Because I feel like we never really see people in that restaurant outside.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
No, I guess not.
And I've always really wanted to try it. I think it would be fun to try.
Yeah. No, it's a really cool pavilion. Like, it's just, I don't know, I really like it. Again, it's one of those places. Well, like, here's sort of the issue with World Showcase. Like, there's so much in World Showcase. Like, I feel like it begs, you to come back a lot, multiple times, to see and experience all that the pavilions have to offer.
Yeah, there's
because,
a reason why.
I feel like we always say that every podcast we've talked about. Like, we need to spend more time.
There's no way. I think that's the beauty of it, too, that trip after trip you can discover more and more, try different restaurants, spend more time in different stores, and just, take it easy in the different pavilions and maybe see too in-depth but not the rest, on a particular trip. And I think that that's really cool because, JB has been to Disney so many times and there's still restaurants he's never eaten in and, stores.
Yes.
We were just watching a video of the Japan Pavilion before we hopped on here and we were both making comments about how there was a part of the pavilion that we felt like we had never really seen.
Right.
Because you have other things you're doing, fast passes you need to get to and stuff, but it's definitely... something that keeps giving. You can go back to the World Showcase and discover a lot each trip.
Yes.
And, there's a reason why Disney offers, like, what is it called? Like, the Epcot
after
dark
or
after whatever it's called, where you can go in, like, locals can go in if they have a particular pass and go to Epcot.
And just have dinner.
After 4 and, for, probably dinner purposes and other things. And, I'm sure that people really take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I would.
Geez, I would. Yeah, I don't know. It's a
They
really
call
cool.
Epcot the locals park because I think that's the reason why the World Showcase has so much to offer.
Right.
And,
Food wise, and yeah, I mean, it's a really, yeah. I mean, again, then I can't say we didn't even get to this. We talked about the food. We talked about the restaurant, which it's really cool. I mean, you can henna tattoos and stuff like that too are available. Mm-hmm. But if you walk into the actual pavilion, you get a little further in. It's like a marketplace, and there's these little shops and carpet shops and different things.
And there's really cool stuff in there. Again, I think because it's something that's a little bit less familiar to a lot of people visiting Disney. I mean, the stuff you find in the shops is it's really unique and cool.
Oh yeah,
very fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I would. I mean, definitely. For an adventure and something, today, really, these two pavilions are probably the most exotic out of all of them.
I think so.
I mean, China is too, in a way, but the Japan and the especially Morocco, there's just it is really a different part of the world. It really is. It's really, really, really cool. I would definitely recommend it. And you get really great entertainment while you're in there as well. So, all right, Ash, what are you going to rate?
I'm going to rate it pretty high. I'm going to give it a 9.5. I think that might surprise you. I know there's not an attraction.
Right.
But I feel like it's really cool that the pavilion is sponsored by the country, and that's the only one in the World Showcase that has that.
Right.
And I feel like it's, like we've talked about, it's more exotic. It kind of, they didn't shy away from, Americanizing anything in the pavilion. So I think that's really cool. But I feel like they use the space really well.
Yes.
And it's one of my favorite pavilions because, like I said earlier, I think you get a totally different feel there at night. It's a really cool pavilion at night. I like it. It's a totally different vibe than during the day, and it sort of comes alive.
Yes.
And I know it feels a little bit smaller to me, but I feel like everything just goes so well in that pavilion.
Yeah.
And the little shops are all really cool. I think the placement of the restaurant outside is perfect.
Yeah, right on the
again,
water.
I've never eaten there or at the one inside.
Yeah.
But I think it offers a lot in what it is. And I think it's done very well. So I give it high marks.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know where how I'm gonna rate this. I'll probably be consistent today. I'll just go, it's another 9. I think it's a 9.
You know what? I want to add too, and this isn't necessarily a criticism, but we think about Norway and the addition of Frozen and things like that happening. I feel like we're not going to see that maybe with Morocco, and I like that. I like that it's sort of staying true,
right,
to itself a little bit more. But just all the tile work and stuff like that, and it feels a little bit more intimate, and the marketplace part is just really cool for me. I really like it.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely check it out. Use your time, get in there, and then like I said, have some good food, and especially in the restaurant Marrakesh as well. Then there's belly dancing. And that's kind of neat. You don't really see that.
When you experience something that's really out of the realm of familiar, you learn more. I think it definitely takes you out of, quote unquote, your comfort zone, kind of with what you're used to seeing in a way.
Right.
But it's really neat. It's a really neat pavilion.
Yes. So, all right. So I gave it a 9. Ash gave it a 9.5. We both gave Japan 9s. And, we definitely encourage you to...
These are 2 great pavilions, guys.
Yeah, we encourage you to go into these pavilions and just experience them. And I said...
always talk to everyone.
Yeah, yes, always say hello, talk to people. And like I said, in Japan, you can get lost in Mitsukoshi because it's huge.
Japan in the store, Mitsukoshi, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Mitsukoshi.
Is always busy. Whereas Morocco,
Yeah.
I don't. It's a little bit less busy. It
Yes.
feels like to me. So
Yeah.
that's something to note too.
Yeah. I think you have a little bit more wiggle room in Morocco. I think, you know what's interesting? I think Morocco might not also get as many people because it's right before France.
Yep.
I feel like people want to go to France.
They love Japan, and then they want to go to France.
Right. So
sort
they
of-
kind of like skip past Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, yeah, let's keep going to France is right here, you know, and there's, you know, lots of cool
it's
things to
familiar.
see. And it's
Yeah.
more familiar, right, to many people. So I think that maybe, and now, of course, with Remy's Ratatouille adventure opening,
Right.
you know, nobody's going to be going, everybody's going to be skipping right past
Yeah.
Morocco.
Which is something
and-
to note. Yeah.
you
You
know.
don't want those to go away.
and heading to Remy. Yeah. Well, I don't think they're going to go away. It's just one of those things where, you know,
You should take the extra effort to, spend time in the other pavilions.
in those other
when
pavilions.
time allows for it.
Yes,
So.
yes. So, you know, interesting, and, you know, interesting and cool, it's something to note that when we start putting more IP and characters and rides into World Showcase, you know, does that diminish the other parts of World Showcase?
And the the particular pavilion it's going in terms of like where people are centered.
Yeah, do you really want to learn about like France and get immersed in French culture, or do you just want to ride Remy?
Yeah.
Just like Norway.
Yeah.
Like it's not about Norway anymore.
It's not about
It's
Norway.
about
It's
Anna.
about Frozen.
Right. So it's interesting what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I don't know if we, you know, if I'm sure. Listen, for all intents and purposes, Remy's Ratatouille adventure is supposed to be amazing, and we'll get back to that when we talk about France.
We always
next
say
time.
that. It's not like JB and I like boycott Frozen or will not. You know, we're very excited to go on that ride. We enjoy it.
Yeah.
Same with Ratatouille, and I think that's partly why my heart, loves Morocco so much. Is it feels like that's not being threatened there.
Right,
It
right.
I feel very immersed, and it's a really nice experience there that, I don't feel like they're going to jam
Yeah.
some ride
Yeah.
in there that just fits.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
I could be
like
wrong.
an Aladdin ride or
I
something.
mean, they could, right?
Right,
I'm not
right.
encouraging it.
Yeah. Well, interesting.
Yeah.
We'll get into that, I think, next time even more when we talk, like the couple podcasts from now when we talk about France.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, 9 for Japan. Ash gave Morocco a 9.5. I gave Morocco a 9. I stayed just kind of 9s. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's funny. Even in the pictures that I see of Morocco, there's just not a lot of people around it.
Yeah, but I mean, you should do yourself a favor and Google it at night, like the Morocco
Yeah, it's
Pavilion at night.
super
It's
pretty.
really cool.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we are sponsored by, my books, but also Magic in the Midwest Podcast.bandcamp.com, where you can subscribe and literally get double the episodes. And thank you to those who are subscribers to us on Bandcamp. We really love it, and we really appreciate it. We appreciate you. So yeah, please check it out, Magic in the Midwest Podcast.bandcamp.com. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever, Spotify, wherever you listen to the podcast. And anything else to add there, Ash?
No, that's it.
All right. So from the Midwest, see you later.